Particularly, I want to make note of a player that wasn't going crazy with the home runs, wasn't one of the most notable players of the day, but deserves his credit. Cody Bellinger.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. I've been hosting Locked On Yankees since July of 2018. I'm about to hit my 7th anniversary. So pretty much Aaron Boone's entire tenure, I've been talking about the Yankees. And with me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, tell everyone about your illustrious career.
Yeah, I posted at WFAN for a while. It's my second year hosting Locked On Yankees alongside Stacey, and apparently today's gray shirt, July 8th.
I don't know. Everydayers, let me know if you notice how much Brian and I, it's always accidental, but we wear white on the same day. My ring light is not behaving right now. We wear white on the same day, black on the same day, gray on the same day. Look, without fail.
Me and Stacey do talk throughout the day during the game, what we're going to talk about on the show, but we never coordinate what color shirt we're going to wear. So I don't understand why we wind up doing this, but hey, it works for us.
Yep. We don't plan our outfits, even though it looks like we do. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to us on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified when our videos go live. And we have a TikTok page. If you're there, you can follow us at LockedOn_Yankees. On today's show, we'll preview the pitching matchups in Game 2 between the Yankees and the Mariners. The Yankees are finally playing Jazz Chisholm at second base. It's about damn time, as Lizzo sang a couple of years ago, but we're going to get into it because what the heck took so long? But first, the Yankees looked pretty good after the rain delay on Tuesday night. By the way, that's my fault. I mentioned it earlier in the day. I'm the one who made it happen, so I apologize. But at least it was only like a half hour. It wasn't a bad one.
Wasn't long. They definitely woke up after the rain delay for sure. I don't know what was said in that clubhouse, but they really woke up. I'd call this win refreshing. Their offense looked like it clicked. The pitching was really well. This is the Yankee team that we saw from early on in the year. Mm-hmm. This was a refreshing win to me. Will Warren, a nice bounce back start after the Blue Jays struggling start that he had last week. I really like what I saw in this game. Particularly, I want to make note of a player that wasn't going crazy with the home runs, wasn't one of the most notable players of the day, but deserves his credit. Cody Bellinger. A 3-hit day, had an unbelievable game. He is one of the true all-around players the Yankees have on this team. Gold Glove defender wherever you place him. Great hitter, always makes contact. Really good base runner, as you saw him take the extra base on the error in center field earlier. He is just a tremendous baseball player, and I know he's a former MVP. I know he's a former Rookie of the Year, but he somehow still is a fly under the radar type of player. He's not the guy you're talking about in the post game he's not an all-star. He's not a guy that when people play the Yankees, I'm sure on other shows, they don't go in saying, oh, you got to worry about Cody Bellinger. But every game he tends to impact it somehow. He is a really, really solid all-around player. And after the way he started off the year, Stacey, the fact that he's hitting 280 now is unbelievable.
Yep, I was going to say that. It almost makes you forget how bad he was in April because he's been so good since April. And as you said, because most eyes are on Judge in this lineup, he is under the radar. It's incredible. And this is what the Yankees got him for, right? The defense. He's also the type of guy that Boone says, I can pencil him in anywhere. And he's just like, all right, that's fine. Like, he's so laid back. He's like, sure, I'll play left field today. Sure, I'll play right field, first base, center field. Like, he's all over the place. And he's just like, I'll do whatever it takes to help this team win. And he's doing that on both ends.
278, 13 homers, 47 RBIs, and 807 OPS. I mean, that's an unbelievable player. And again, no one talks about him. He's so underappreciated, but I hope he's a Yankee for a while because I've seen a lot of things that I really love out of him this year.
Yeah. So let's talk about the offense because they woke up after the rain delay. Peraza had the RBI single. He was lucky to have that single. It bounced the right way. And,
Or the fact that it's a single.
Yeah, like yes, that too. Because thank you, scorer. So that at least got things going against Logan Gilbert, and then Stanton with his 3-run home run. Yeah, he hit that hard. So it was his 431st career home run, which ties him with Cal Ripken Jr. for 50th all time. But listen to this: Stanton reached 431 in 6,961 plate appearances. Cal Ripken Jr. reached that same number of home runs in 12,883 plate appearances.
And he played every single day. Stanton's career has been riddled by injuries pretty much.
Yeah.
Will if he gets to 500 home runs, is he a Hall of Famer?
I would hope so. That used to be the bar. I mean, 500 is not easy to do, right?
At all.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's gonna be that's gonna be an interesting test to even if he gets there. I think he will get to 500 home runs. He's 69 home runs, nice away. So I think it'll be I think he'll get there. It'll be tough, but I think he'll get there.
Now, speaking of home runs, someone is waking up.
Someone
is I almost said David Wells. Austin Wells is waking up. And we talked about this. Last season, he wasn't hitting at the start of the season, but it was mostly bad luck. Where this season was a little different. It wasn't quite bad luck. He just didn't look right at the plate. And now he's really starting to hit. He had the 2-run homer on Tuesday night, but now he's hit in the first time in his career home runs in 3 straight games. So he's definitely waking up at the plate.
And he's on the breaking ball. It's first pitch out of the bullpen pitcher, right on it, carried it all the way, pulled it to really solid sign of him. He's a key player in this lineup, especially with the struggles Volpe's had at the bottom of this lineup. He's a really key part of this lineup.
Yeah.
And then the other home run in this game.
Judge hits his 34th home run.
It's now the most he's had through 90 games in a season. But previous was 33. So if you look at all of his seasons, I mean, it's absurd numbers that he has, and he just gets better and better.
And he had that long stretch where he wasn't hitting home runs.
You know what it is? Because he hits them in bunches. He gets hot for a week and hits like 12 in a week. It's ridiculous. And I think there's a little bit of extra motivation here just to do it in front of Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, thanks, Hartlieb, for giving that up to Raleigh. I was so mad at toward the end of the game. I was like, why are you giving up? Don't give up a home run to him. Also, can we briefly talk about this? Malachi, and your little brother, if you're listening to this, put earmuffs on. Why was the S Network focusing on Cal Raleigh's posterior for like 2 straight minutes? Like, I get it. He's called Big Dumper. Catchers are built like that. I remember Mike Stanley had a big, he had a rump there. But, Giancarlo Stanton has one too, and he's not a catcher. But I just thought it was really funny. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
he has been apparently known as this nickname, the Big Dumper, since high school.
Yeah.
So it is his thing, I guess. But yeah, Yes Network was not ashamed.
That director was like zooming in, and I was just like,
I thought it was a little peculiar. You're just on a baseball broadcast, but hey, good for them. Body positivity. We're all about it.
Yeah, I mean, all the ladies watching the game were probably like, hey, this never happens.
Great.
Yeah, this is, wow, look at this. So from James Smythe of Yes, he posted, Aaron Judge is still sitting on 349 home runs because when he came up in the 8th inning and he struck out on 2 pitches that weren't strikes below the zone.
Yeah.
Did I put it? Oh, no, I didn't put it into the, I saved the picture, but I didn't put it into the software there, but I couldn't believe those strike calls, but he's still sitting on 349, but it's okay. He still has 195 more games to beat Mark McGwire's record as the fastest to 350. This was Judge's 1,084th career game tonight, and Mark McGwire did it in 1,280 games.
Absolutely absurd, especially when you count the seasons that Mark McGwire had and the home run totals that he had. Judge is just, when it comes to career power hitters, I know some of those guys in the Starlight era had unbelievable years, especially with the tallies they had. Judge is unbelievably consistent with it, though.
Yeah.
Those guys had their few years of insane numbers, and that was it, 2 or 3 years of it. Judge, every year, it's 30 home runs before the All-Star break every single year. It's incredible.
2 quick things before we move on to the next segment. Tim Hill comes in, does fine. Well, actually, it was all zeros there. Hartlieb gives up the 3 runs, and Hamilton gets out of it with the double play to end that inning and get them out of the way. Scott Efros comes in, pitches the last inning, and doesn't get hurt.
Good space to be in,
because that's the biggest problem with Scott Efros. Like, he's barely pitched for the Yankees, and then he goes in and
they love his stuff. And he struggled in the minor leagues before it took him a while to get up here just because his minor league numbers were not very good. But let's get him on a roll, because the Yankees tell you that if there's one thing you should trust with the Yankees and their analytics, it's their pitching. Because Matt Blake knows when he's got a guy with good spin rate, good stuff, all that kind of stuff. And they say that Scott Efros is that. So let's have them prove us right once again.
Yep. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in our description. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings, reactions to the game. Got plenty of that on Tuesday night. We send out lineups during the season, roster moves, and breaking news, so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, Jazz Chisholm finally playing second and probably going to stay there. But what the heck took so long? We're going to talk about that and talk about a bit of discrepancy between Jazz speaking to the media and Aaron Boone speaking to the media. We'll discuss it all next.
If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. And think about the last time that you had a service emergency, like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you just wait around? No, you called the next one. And that's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. Did you juggle 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? OpenPhone solved that instantly. And the AI agent handles after-hour calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so you never miss a customer ever again. OpenPhone is offering all Locked On Yankees listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's OpenPhone.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers.
If you're a YouTube viewer and you are not an insider, we have a way for you to leave Fan Mail Friday questions for us. If you go to our YouTube page and you click on the post tab, you will see the latest post telling you where to leave your Fan Mail Friday questions. The deadline is Thursday, July 11th or 10th. What's the date? 10th or 11th, whichever day is Thursday. It's 5 p.m. Eastern because we're in the Eastern time zone and it makes it easier for me. But leave your questions. You guys have been doing great so far with this new way of leaving Fan Mail Friday questions because I figured I'd make it easier for you and for me to find all the questions. So,
Stacey, earlier yesterday, Aaron Boone made an appearance on the John Boy podcast Talking Yanks to discuss the new lineup change in the Yankees. Jazz Chisholm will be the full-time second baseman going forward. We've discussed this previously the last couple of weeks, really. It was 28 straight games that Jazz Chisholm started at third base for the Yankees. After the Mets game, the day that he got the day off, he basically said that he's been facing shoulder problems. Everyone was saying, well, why the heck is he playing third base, which is the longest throw on the diamond? After having him practice at second base throughout the entire offseason, me and Stacey discussed that last week. If you guys want to go back and listen to that, we discussed why is he practicing second base all offseason and now going to be at third base. It made no sense. We complained about it a lot. And now we got our wish. And it was the response to that was the Yankees fielding their best infield of the season and their best defensive infield they could possibly have as presently constituted before the trade deadline. With Oswald Peraza at third base, with Anthony Volpe at shortstop, with Jazz Chisholm at second base, and with Paul Goldschmidt at first base. This is a Gold Glove level infield, and this is the best fielding infield the Yankees could potentially have out there as presently constituted. We've said this a lot, and if you are a fan of old school baseball, of older time baseball, Stacey, Not every guy in your lineup needs to be a 300 hitter that hits 30 homers and has 100 RBIs. Sometimes fielding matters and the glove matters a lot too. Now, if you have a player that can do both, it's certainly a luxury. But there are decades of evidence of teams that just sacrificed a bat at a certain position, knowing that they were going to get production out of that guy in the field. You have that with the Yankees infield now. Aaron Boone did confirm that Jazz Chisholm will be the full-time second baseman going forward. So don't expect flip-flopping. He will play second base full-time going forward. And Oswald Peraza will play second base going forward. Third base going forward. Before I get your opinion on this, I want to state one thing. Boone had trouble clarifying this all day because he appeared on the podcast earlier in the day and basically confirmed Jazz will be playing second base full time and said that the situation is, quote, fluid at third base between Peraza and LeMahieu. Then Boone went to the stadium. Boone spoke with both Peraza and LeMahieu. Something apparently must have transpired. And then Boone went to the podium and spoke with the media and said that Peraza will be the full-time third baseman. There's a miscommunication going on somewhere. I don't know where, but I just wanted to clarify that before I get your opinion on the whole situation.
Yeah. I said it. I think I said it last week. I don't care if Oswald Peraza goes 0 for 50. If he's playing tight defense at third and everyone else is hitting, that's fine. That's fine with me. You don't need an all-star at every single position. It's nice to have good defense. Like, I think the defense is more important right now from Peraza than the offense. I know the Yankees will probably disagree with me, but I think right now this infield is what it should be and what it should have been for.
Should have been is the way to is the best way to phrase that in my opinion, because this whole season they have gotten no production pretty much from either the second base or third base position. Why not
playing people not in the right spot?
Exactly. And if you're going to get no production, why not get the best defensive production out of it? Yeah. I will say this. They are going to have to make an upgrade at the trade deadline because although you don't need an all-star at every position, I agree with you. You do need someone hitting over 154. You can't have Peraza hitting what he's hitting at third base. That is simply not acceptable. Mm-hmm. But Peraza could become a bench player. This fits him in very seamlessly at this point. They don't trust DJ moving around apparently at third base, which does make sense. Although, to me, playing him full-time, which they've been doing essentially at second base, makes even less sense because you do need to move a lot more at second base. And he was basically a liability covering the hole up the middle because he wasn't getting to any balls. So Jazz Chisholm allows him to do that. And I will say this. You saw this change immediately pay dividends in the first game back because Jazz made some incredible plays. He's got terrific range out there. And Peraza made some great plays at third base too. So this is absolutely the best defense the Yankees could field right now. And that to me is what's most important. Like you've said, they have the power and the run production in their lineup already. They need the defense to take over. And that's what they have with this lineup.
Yeah. Now, I find it interesting. Gary Phillips of the Daily News titled his article as Yankees Jazz Chisholm Jr. returns to second base, DJ LeMahieu unhappy with bench role. And I looked through the entire article and there was no quote from DJ at all. So I thought, well, how do we know that DJ's unhappy if we don't have an actual quote from him? So I thought that was very odd that was the title of the article, but that wasn't the most disturbing part of the article. The fact that Boone and Chisholm were not eye to eye on the injury or what caused it or what was going on is baffling to me, because regarding Jazz's shoulder soreness, which we've talked about so far, I think both shows this week, Boone said that no, it wasn't because he was playing third. He heard it separately. It was something different. On Sunday, after the game, Chisholm didn't use playing third to excuse his soreness, but he did say he first felt it after backhanding a ball and throwing it to first as hard as I could. That was his quote.
And he also did confirm that it doesn't affect his swing and doesn't hurt his swing. And there's plenty of evidence to that because of the way that he's hit lately.
Yes.
I do think there was a disagreement inside the clubhouse between the two of them. And I think Jazz publicly put pressure on Boone by basically saying, once he made this injury and this shoulder problem public and basically said it's not affecting my bat and I can play every day, but I can't make the throws from third base, he forced the organization's hand.
I
And
can't
I think
believe it
Jazz,
took that to do it when
Jazz
everyone was
knows,
talking about it.
and Jazz knows that he's best playing second base.
Yeah.
He feels most comfortable there. So I think he forced the organization's hand. And you know what? Good for him. Honestly, he's got the voice to speak out publicly, which it feels like a lot of the guys in this team don't have the guts to do that publicly. He does. He did, and it worked.
So this was the other thing. Boone also said he spoke to Chisholm and gave him a heads up about his return to second, adding he's good with it. However, Chisholm said that he hadn't talked about it on Tuesday and that he found out when he woke up and saw the lineup.
Yeah, it's a problem with the miscommunication. You start the day off with Boone talking to the podcast, giving different information than he did when getting to the stadium. Two different things that he said, because, and then the Jazz stuff. There is a miscommunication going on in that clubhouse between the roster and the management staff, and that's a problem. That's a major problem.
That is a very big problem. I won't tell you guys what I put in the rundown, but there aren't very nice words there because they need to get their stuff together. I said another S word. You know what it is. They need to get their stuff together. This is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, there's so many. What has happened to this organization? I don't understand this. They get embarrassed on a weekly basis. They get embarrassed in the World Series. They get embarrassed. Like, it's just a yearly thing with this team. And when did this start happening? And why is it happening? This is not, I don't want to sound like one of those old people, but I am. This is not the Yankees way of doing things. This is, I don't know what is going on from top to bottom. It is just embarrassing watching this team with the miscommunications between the player and the manager and the front office and the players and anything else that's going on. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
You need far more cohesion and far more you need more of the manager and the players being in full communication. You can say what you want behind closed doors, but when it comes to the media and publicly, you can't show that things are, off balance like this behind closed doors. You need to make it appear at least like everything's being held together. And it doesn't look like that right now.
And you know what I like? The Jazz just tells it how it is.
Yeah, he's super honest, sometimes to a fault, but you know what? It's refreshing because you don't see that from athletes nowadays. No. Even, the one thing people were annoyed with Derek Jeter about it throughout his entire career is every answer felt like it was the same thing where he said a lot without giving you anything. Aaron Judge has also mastered that task. Jazz says it like it is. Jazz just says how he's feeling, sometimes to a fault, but you know what? It is refreshing for fans of the team for sure.
Yep. All right, coming up, we're going to tell you about a couple of injury updates. Then we're going to preview the pitching matchup or the pitching matchups in the two remaining games in the series. And then we're going to take a look around the league next.
Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? And with FanDuel, you can get in on the games while your friends are getting sunburnt at the beach. I love it. During the Club World Cup, it's the best thing to bet on. I love Real Madrid going forward. I'm a Madrid fan as it is, and you can watch that game later on today, right after you finish up Locked On Yankees. And the best thing is it's easy to use. They're fast payouts. It makes every regular season game feel like a must-watch event. And whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or I'm watching my bet rod into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it like I'm part of the action during every single game. And are you new to FanDuel? New customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And not only do we cover your team every day, but we're also giving you instant episodes after every single game. You can check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel. Get the rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. Stacey, some clerical work to clean up. The Yankees have some injury updates. So Luis Gil will pitch for Somerset. He'll make a debut for it on Sunday. Earlier on Tuesday, he threw a live bullpen, which apparently is the same amount of pitches that he's going to throw in his rehab start for Somerset. They just want to do it behind closed doors, not to live batters, just so he can get through it for sure. He will face live batters and pitch in the game for Somerset on Sunday. Apparently, he will only go a max of 50 pitches or 3 innings, whichever one he gets to first, and they will slowly build him up from there. We are still not expecting to see him on the Yankees until early August at the earliest. So if you want to keep a track of his timeline, he's probably around February 14th, 15th. He's somewhere in that range of spring training. So he's got about a month and a half until we actually see him in full game action.
Now, this news was, when this came out, I thought, what? Mark Leiter Jr. has a fracture in his knee and was placed on the 15-day IL, retroactive to July 7th. I think he'll probably be on the IL a little longer than that.
Yeah.
And Clayton Beeter is back up.
They're looking for more results so far. Apparently, there's a lot of inflammation. They did say that it looks like it's possibly a stress fracture, which could be less time than an actual knee fracture, which probably would require surgery or something.
Yeah, that would be like season ending. Yeah.
Apparently, this did happen in the Cincinnati series when he was covering first base and no one noticed it, which is so. I have you broken a bone before?
Yes.
I feel like you would notice it.
I've broken a couple. Right when it happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that Leiter Jr. fractured his knee and feel it and then pitched in multiple games after that is a huge testament to how tough professional athletes actually are compared to how tough we think they are.
Yeah.
So Wednesday's game for the Yankees, it'll be an Amazon Prime Video game, a 7:05 start. You'll get Cam Schlittler, who will premiere for the Yankees. It'll be his major league debut. Again, big curveball, really, really, really high velocity fastball. We'll see how he looks. He has never been to Yankee Stadium. Apparently Tuesday when he played catch in center field was the first time he ever stepped foot in the stadium in the Bronx.
Wow.
So I'm sure the nerves will be flying.
He'll be a wreck. He's going to be a wreck.
That's a good omen for him going into his first.
But it's understandable. You know, he's a human being. He's going to be, the butterflies will be going. He'll settle down. They'll settle him down, but he's going
to face Logan Evans, who's 3-2 at a 2.96 ERA.
Another Logan.
The Yankees are minus 150 in this game on FanDuel, which is an interesting line for a debut.
What does that mean?
That means you have to bet $150 to win $100. So they're significant favorites in this game.
Okay.
Which is strange that they'd be significant favorites when they're pitching a rookie in his debut against a guy who's had a really good year.
Yeah, I'm like against a dude whose ERA is south of 3.
Something's up there. Something's up there. So keep your eyes peeled on that line.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey, your favorite segment of the day, everyone's favorite segment besides FanDuel Friday, news from around the league. We found out earlier yesterday that O'Neal Cruz will participate in the home run derby. That'll be exciting. He's got a real amount of power, so that could be a really fun one.
I think between him and Cal Raleigh, that's going to be fun. And I like seeing new people in the home run derby too.
Completely agreed.
Yeah.
Completely agreed. So this will be fun. This is a really cool, interesting story. Apparently, Willie Mays, before he passed away, said that he wanted his personal collection to be auctioned off and the proceeds to go to his charity, which is the Say Hey Foundation. It's been around since 2000 when he founded it. It's designed to help assist the youth in health, education, and training services. So that's a pretty cool charity that he started way after his playing career ended. Mays apparently did want this to happen after his passing. And one of the key items is the Presidential Medal of Freedom that Barack Obama gave him. That's a pretty cool piece of memorabilia to own. And I'm sure there's other really cool things that are going to be in that package too when it goes to auction. I wonder what these things are going to go for, because you see some wild prices out there for what people are willing to pay. And especially a guy like Willie Mays, that's going to be a pretty cool auction.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. So good for him and good for that foundation. That's a really cool cause that he started. And I'm glad that kind of stuff keeps going posthumously for a player. That is really cool, because he started under a really good idea, and I'm glad that people keep it up and keep going with it, even after his death. Luis Robert will be back off the IL for the Chicago White Sox. He'll be back in their lineup. That's a key addition, because not for the White Sox, but for the trade deadline, because his name is all over the trade deadline of, are they going to move him? What are they going to get for him? You didn't know if he'd be back by the trade deadline. He gets back a couple of weeks in advance. If he starts heating up in the next week or two, that could be a really key addition for some team that's competing in the next couple of weeks. Starling Marte will now go on the IL for the Mets, so that's a problem. They're calling up more players, and as they get guys back, they're losing guys. So that's a problem. And one more guy that's close to returning off the IL. Alex Bregman. He's been out for a while with the Red Sox, but he was having a really good start to the year, Stacey. That's a big addition for them, pickup for them, because he was having a great year prior to getting hurt.
Yeah, like he was in, it was really early in the year, but they were like, wow, this could be like MVP discussion.
They were talking extension,
Mm-hmm.
literally extension at one point after signing a 3-year deal in the offseason. So we'll see what that winds up being, but he could be a spark that the Red Sox absolutely could use at this point in the year. And they did ask Clayton Kershaw about the All-Star selection that Rob Manfred gave him to put a legend in the All-Star game. Kershaw didn't respond to this on Tuesday because he said on Monday, actually, because he said that he needed time to think about it. He then was asked about it again on Tuesday if he's ready to say anything. And on Tuesday, he said, weird, but cool. That was his response. So there you go. That's Clayton Kershaw's thoughts on being part of the All-Star game.
I mean, if you don't want to do it.
Exactly.
Then we'll get someone else in there who deserves to be there. Just kidding. Yeah, that's interesting stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to O'Neal Cruz and Cal Raleigh battling each other. I don't know if they will.
Fun.
But
it's going to be a lot of fun. Are you looking forward? If you had to put money on it, do you think the broadcast will zoom in on Cal Raleigh's behind? Or will they choose not to?
I think they might choose not to. I think. I don't know.
Big dumper. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be a part of conversation. You'll have to check out the alternate broadcast. See really what they have to think about Cal Raleigh's backside.
If you didn't watch Tuesday's game, watch the replay on Yes. They show it in the morning. We're not kidding. It was like, how long was it? Like at least 2 minutes of them zooming on his.
It was
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was like it didn't seem right, because if you did that to a woman, it would be, you know what I mean? Like it didn't seem right to me.
It's a great point. It's a great double standard.
Yeah.
If this were women, if this was the WNBA,
that
would never fly ever.
No, ever. So whoever at Yes decided to do that, don't do that again.
Yeah, it's strange.
It's weird. Don't do it. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. You can get local analysis on a national scale. And it's different hosts for different nights. They're all really well-informed and very funny, so we suggest that you watch it. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And coming up later this week, of course, we have our Fan Mail Friday show, so get those questions in. Oh no, not even below on YouTube. It's post tab, channel page, post tab. You'll see the post, and insiders get those questions in as soon as you can. So that'll do it. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.